So, Christian, we meet at last, and we got in contact through social media, I guess. You contacted me about sharing your music, which is great. That's what we want to do. So tell us a little bit about who you are, the band, how many's in the band, where are you based, what are you up to, how long have you been going, all that sort of stuff.
So, yeah, I'm Christian in Timeless Rage. That's a German band that does basically a kind of symphonic power metal, but not this very happy type, but more the raw and more dark feel, maybe. So we are located in this Black Forest era, so that might help to get a little bit lower on your mood.
Yeah.
So
I did. I listened to some of the tracks, and it's very polished. I have to say, it's very well produced. I think, in my opinion, anyway.
I might have had a finger in it.
Are you the producer?
So it's basically to the outside we always say, well, we produce this at the band, but basically all the tracks come to my machine, and so it's not that I have to say and forbid someone's parts, but I'm the one who tries to push it in a straightforward direction, that we not try to put in whatever someone likes, but we follow the certain moods. This song needs some majestic feel, and then whatever you bring in as parts that doesn't feed that vibe, I will at least tell you, maybe. But in the end, I sort it all out. Mixing and mastering is done by an external one who did like Vandenplas, and so bigger releases. His name is Markus Teske from Basement Studio.
Okay.
So great guy, trained musician. So and all this, what we do is not like a 4-track blues band. It's like here you go. So on my machine, it's like 160 tracks with orchestra.
Right. Okay.
And if you throw that to a mix engineer, they say, well. So I boil it down to smaller groups, and then sometimes we need to go back and forth, but most of the time it's just mixing, mastering stuff.
Yeah. And do you think that's because I speak to a lot of people about this, about mixing their own material? I personally, I think it's always good to get a third party take on the mix, especially if you're aligned in your thought process, of how it should sound. If they've done 1 or 2 tracks and you're happy with it and they know where you want to be, I think it's good to have that, because you can be a bit sort of hypercritical in your own mind.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I guess that's the saying. So it's like, if you do it on your own, you get exactly what you like if you are capable to perform at that level, but it might take you forever, as you say. So you over-iterate, or you are just not that pro and know all the tricks, and it takes you forever to get there with referencing and car test, and then wipe it and start from scratch. Sometimes you just need to put it out to a professional and communicate your vision, and maybe have a rough mix ready and say, well, this is the way we want. That's what's important in each and every part, but trying to communicate that vision, that also takes some time and effort. So definitely. That's why if you have your go-to guy, then that helps. At least you establish your baseline, and then you work from there. And then it's not like, whoa, you get a surprise from a track, like someone didn't even get the vision. So that's really good with Markus. Huh?
So are you playing guitar? Are you singing? You're writing the songs? Is it a collaborative affair?
So it's like guitar and hair on stage, and so this whole Cubase production side of things. And in the band, it's like a shared attempt to writing. So on this album, it's basically some songs are based on guitar ideas by me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they were based on guitar ideas by the singer. Sometimes it's like from the orchestral side of things on the keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on where that song starts, that usually gives like 60-70% of what it would be, and then everyone needs to fill in. And of course, if it's guitar first, then maybe the orchestra is not completely overwhelming. That's why we still have this like a little heavy feel it, so it's not just like fairy tale music.
And so are you all recording individually, or do you all record in the studio at the same time? Do you record at your place? Have you got separate places?
So it's spread. So most of the time, everyone records on its own. Sometimes I joined for singing sessions with the singer. So sometimes in rehearsal room. For drums, we basically have a space, or we just use this an electronic kit. But so real plate drums, but we still use samples because having a real good space and very good and consistency, and then if an album takes a while, then keeping that setup in place exact same. So otherwise each song mixes differently, so that's also a lot of extra work. So that's why we always went for this electronic kits.
So what's your guitar rig?
Basically a plug into my machine, and then it's all software.
What about on live? When you play live?
That's of line 6 has this small HX stomp. So that's the small one with a MIDI in. So we have an in-ear rack. There's a click track for everyone, and that thing fires MIDI to switch my sound. So I basically use one preset that gets a little boost and delay for solos, and I have one clean part in the set currently. Then I change a preset. So basically, I have 1.5 sounds.
Nice. Well, very stripped and slick.
I don't need many extras. So that solo stuff gets a little louder. It gets a little more mids, a delay, more gain. So
I'll be interested to see the live set, because there's a lot going on when you listen to it on a track.
It is. So that's the thing. So for us, it's like a full band arrangement with 2 guitars, and then you add on top of it a whole orchestra. So and live, it's like our keyboard player needs to be the Kraken. So that thing is split into like 1.5 octaves. And then it's like, well, here's the string section, here's the brass, and then it's like keep, hold, and flying hands with foot switches to always change the sound. So that's nuts.
Well, but good when it works.
It does, but it's like a lot of work. So there's basically we use backing tracks only for some intro stuffs where there's like a rocket start theme or something like that. That's basically played, but everything else is really coming from the hands. So.
Good. So what is your position now as regards where the band is, where you're trying to go, and how are you getting on with the sort of promotional side of navigating the streaming services and the promotion services and all of that? How are you getting on with that?
It's a lot of work. So basically at our level, it's DIY basically. So we have a label, but it's not a big one where you have a team of 20 guys only waiting to do your social media. So it's on us. So that means in this heavy release phase like now, it's try to get interviews going, try to get some reviews, some reactions, maybe fire to a radio that you find online.
Just keep going.
All channels, just try to get the word out, and as long as it's fresh. Yeah, if I tell someone about a release in 3 months, and it's like, why do they care?
And do you think that any of the particular outlets or social platforms are performing better than any others?
So it's like I see a lot of direct interactions on Instagram. So this is where the real communication happens. So where you really can talk to people, like in DMs. So it's not like scream at the void and don't get anything back. So that's basically. So I guess this Twitter X thing has died for on our end at least. So there's still some people, but I don't see any interactions anymore.
No, I found Twitter or X and Facebook actually not very good for this sort of thing at the moment. I think I'm using Threads a lot. I use Instagram a lot. I'm using my website and I'm using a bit of YouTube, not too much, but it's a difficult scene. And how about streaming with things like Spotify? 'Cause Spotify's getting a lot of bad press about payment and streaming numbers and always changing the algorithm.
For reasons, let's say. So looking at the album, it now tells me it's 64,000 streams in total for the album.
Yeah, that's good.
But it is. That includes. So we had many single releases. So that's how you need to play it this day. You cannot say, well, I have never published anything in the last years and here's my album, then you're basically dead on Spotify. What we did was like introducing our singer with a single, then when we knew what kind of album it would be, fire out the first single with a video just to keep something going, and then when it was solidified, when the release is out, then really monthly singles up to release date.
And do you combine that with a sort of YouTube video release as well? Do you do the full package?
So for the album there was a new video, and this first announcement single that also got a full video. And for the other tracks, we it's all DIY, as I said. So some songs can get it, but the others will get simple lyric visualizers. Basically, something for all channels at least.
Yeah, try and get it all out there. And have you got a strategy for that? Is it like one comes before the other definitely, and that's the way it works, or do you just get them?
For the singles, it's like the best and the biggest comes last. So it's like start with something where you say, well, this might not vibe with everyone. It's very different. So then the Seed of Fear was the first one, maybe then in line of the pre-album run, and then like where many voices told us, well, that's a solid song, like which was it? We All Shall Fall. That got then a little more video, like we put together some concert scenes, so not just like a static visualizer, but a little more. And then the title track, My Kingdom Come, if it has the album name, and we did the full video for that, and really like drone shots and real like costume stuff, and so not just a simple thing, but performance in 2 different dressings, and then having a story woven into it. So a real video.
Do you manage to stay in touch with the fan base via sort of mailing list? Do you have mailing lists, or via a website, or how do you stay in touch? How do you communicate the stuff directly to the people that are listening to your music?
So the website newsletter never really got a lot of people who signed up. There's this what is it, Bands in Town, has a collection feature. That one is way bigger. So for releases I fire at least there, and the other stuff is basically try to spread it out on all social media that we.
Yeah. And what about Bandcamp? Are you using Bandcamp?
Yeah.
Is that doing okay?
I'm always impressed when I get a new mail, kaching,
Yeah.
something happened there. So it's if you compare that with what the band will receive for those Spotify numbers, then we're already
Yeah.
way out of somewhere else. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so there's also a physical release. So and for that, new stats are not yet in. So last week it was like we entered this German metal rock charts at position 30.
Mm-hmm.
So at least some people in Germany thought they might help us and buy that thing. So
yeah. And what do you think of that that genre that you're in? Where do you think that's really hitting? Because I mean, historically, for me, and I spent a little bit of time in Germany, that it's a kind of, I don't know, maybe a more European-based thing than the States or anything like that. Do you think? Where's your statistically? Where's your fan base?
So, that's the thing. It's everywhere. But the thing is, what would you call us? So that even that's always a little tricky. So some people call us, well, you're a power metal band. Yeah. So this is pure power metal, and some say, well, this is symphonic, and then there's someone who says, no, that's progressive. So it depends on what song you hear and where you're coming from. Then you find different stuff. Like there's one song where multiple people said, well, it sounds like Blind Guardian meets Dream Theater.
Right.
Yeah? So, and we are like, so okay, that's basically top level of musicianship. We're done. we can finish here.
Yeah.
But then you have another track, and that's on a completely other level. So it's I don't know. I would say it's basically a lot of European power metal. So not so much this dragon hunting stuff, but this melodic up tempo and this rougher side of, well, in some tracks you even hear a little thrash or this Swedish melodic death metal influences in the guitars. So not so much from the extreme point, but I guess on our end it's quite a rough mix. But I would say, well, it's a lot of European influences for sure.
And how are you getting on with live gigs? Where are you gigging? Are you traveling far? Is it a tour setup, or are you just going wherever you can go? What's happening?
How they said in Wayne's World, if you book them, they will come.
Yeah.
so basically, we had a big opportunity coming up in summer, and it was cancelled like 2 months ago. So now there's a big hole in summer.
Right. Yeah, well, that happens, doesn't it? But how far do you travel? Do you stay? Are you generally within Germany, or are you getting out of?
So this opportunity would have been across Europe, but now the gigs that we have signed up for this year are German only.
Right.
But if anyone likes us, we are very flexible.
Yeah, well, it's venues as well. Venues, especially in the UK, venues are declining. Really, music venues, live venues. It's sad, really, but that's just the way it is at the moment. Although there's a lot of small kind of that are maybe a pub or a bar that they're trying to keep going with a bit of live music, but it's hard to put on a metal band in a place like that. You need a bigger venue.
And if you think about logistics, so getting 6 people there from Germany, it's like okay.
Yeah, and I think I see a bit of this about people saying that they don't want to play live because there's no money in it. But for me, especially on the first outing, if you like, you're really just investing in yourself. If it costs you money, that's just the way it is. If you were signed to a label and the label was giving you an advance and all that sort of stuff, I spoke about this before, they'd be paying for you to do all those things, but you've got to pay them back eventually. So, really, if it costs you to go out and do a gig, then you're just investing in yourself. You're paying to get yourself in front of all those people. That's how it is, isn't it?
No, so we don't do like extra pyro stuff to just burn money there. So
No, that's right. Yeah.
But still, if it's like you play at the other end of Germany and you drive there with a maybe rented transporter, or you get there with multiple cars, so then you need to charge at least some amount, and then you need rooms. So with 6 people, it's really not that you can say, well, we play for drinks. So
I've done it. I've done it. Yeah, I've done that, and then ended up having to pay for the drinks as well afterwards, which I wasn't expecting. But anyway, so where do you see the next move for Timeless Rage?
Basically, this album was the last with our current label, so we can have our eyes open and let's see what this album gets in terms of performance, and then I think it is time to call some numbers. And then maybe that would be another level. So as I said, so if it's like a lot of DIY on the social media, that just eats all your time. So if you really want to have it consistently, then
it's hard work.
It really takes a lot of work. Yeah.
It does. So. It does, and I think I've seen artists who have got virtually no social media, but they've got good songs and they've got a good live performance, and they can still get some good traction because they don't necessarily need all the social media side of it. If they can get somebody to the gig, that people want to see them again, and I think that's the art of a good presentation and doing a good show for everyone that comes along. People that are getting into your music. But it's an interesting genre. I see quite a lot of, or rather hear quite a lot of metal and quite a lot of quite heavy sort of thrash. Really the real shouting stuff. Always makes me wonder. I've never managed to talk to anyone about that really directly. I'd like to, because I want to understand, what possesses someone to go into a studio and just shout at such a level that you can't even understand what they're saying. But there's obviously a reason, and a fan base. But I'm probably steer more towards the melodic side, of that sort of stuff. So there we go. So how
the live scene is really like you have both ends, but what I thought was like the last maybe last 3 years, this traditional clean singing stuff gets some momentum again, and before that it was like wherever you looked it was all this as you said, so more extreme voices, more modern metalcore gent stuff. So like the modern aggressive styles were everywhere, in at least what I observed, like a whole youth movement not really into that traditional stuff. And maybe now with all this 80s revival and the Stranger Things on Netflix, they get that 80s revival again, and now it's again cool to have this traditional styles going.
Well, one thing's for sure, in the music scene there, you never know what's going to come next and what's going to go
in waves.
And anything can make it at any point, as long as you've got the right little boost or the right combination of video and audio and whatever it might be. But so what are you up to the weekend?
So this is Easter time. Everyone is like trying to chill it and after this release weeks get some deep breath.
Excellent. Okay, well, listen, Christian, I'm gonna do something with your track. We'll get it on the website. We'll try and spread it around a little bit, do what we can, and I hope it all goes well for you.
Thanks.